What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and yikes! The main actor from Shang-Chi has had his Reddit history exposed, and double yikes, triple yikes. He talked about changing history. Well, he's about to. I mean, this is a man, by the way, that has been on the radar of many in the press for a long time. Apparently, they've known about it. If we look at this is a tweet from September 16th, 2021. This is an astonishingly in-depth article about the toxic men's right Asians movement. So if you have the time to read it, read it. And probably for a very good reason, it omits the biggest celebrity ringleader of them all. Yes, I've talked about him many, many times before. Eventually then replying to his own tweet saying, F it, the person in question is Simu Liu, the actor from Shang-Chi. Now, I don't have any problem with men's rights movements. I support men's rights movements. The only issue I have in the men's rights movements, just like essentially you'd see in feminism, is when it gets to the woman-hating incel category. There is that section of MRAs that is used against normal everyday MRAs who just want better custody rights for men, more fair, and they want to explore other things that can help men. There's absolutely nothing wrong with men's rights. In fact, I support the movement. There is that tiny section of it, right, that is, not necessarily productive. Then you end the same thing with feminism. There's people who actually want, things for women and fight actual issues. And then there's the misandrists, the man haters. Again, they do nothing good either. If you chop off both extremes, both movements have generally a good history. However, it's not the Shang-Chi star's men's rights movement comments that are concerning. It's the ones where he claims that being gay is the same thing as being a P to the E to the D to the O. Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Ring star is under fire for controversial Reddit comments he made in the past. By the way, these are confirmed to be his. He used the very same account to do an AMA. Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings accelerated Simu's worldwide stardom. The Canadian actor was already starring in the widely popular Toronto-based sitcom Kim's Convenience. Never saw it. Heard it was good, I guess. I don't know. Which became an international phenomenon after streaming services like Netflix picked it up. When Shang-Chi film was first announced, he cheekily tweeted at Marvel, letting them know that he was interested in the role. And lo and behold, he was cast as the martial artist shortly afterward. The film debuted earlier this month after a stellar reception of both fans and critics, and managed to make a decent dent in the post-lockdown box office as well. Now, as Marvel's latest enters its third weekend, his Reddit comments have now resurfaced. By the way, couldn't have happened to a better person who took his victory lap perhaps a little too early. He wanted to take his victory lap against YouTubers who didn't think it was going to be very good. So his Reddit username was "you nipped in the bud." While the account has since been deleted, various screenshots have surfaced online, with many of the comments pointing out his professions, his origins, as well as other personal details. He even participated in an AMA on the account for Kim's Convenience, which was likely approved by moderators, thus validating his identity. Now, I will say, screenshots are very different than archives. So until archives appear, he will have that seed of doubt. Although there are so many and they're so specific, it seems unlikely to be faked. That said, it's not fair of me to not mention it's possible. You see a lot of the comments here. Hey, I'm a Canadian actor. You see it's a user. And I thought I'd chime in. I recently did a show in which I played a P word and did a significant amount of research, clinical studies, mind you, not the method stuff. Well, thankfully you didn't actually diddle any, on the disorder and how it's perceived in the media. In the end, the role completely changed the way I look at the P stuff and has made me much more sympathetic to anyone who is born with these urges. Wow, I mean, stunning and brave. I think there is, obviously, I think the initial reaction is like, zoinks, I'm not really down with being a P apologist. But that said, he's simply saying he has sympathy for those that are born with this affliction, which may be uncomfortable to say, but isn't exactly quite supporting them like some people may spin this. Here's where it gets crazy, though. From a biological standpoint, it's no different than being gay, a small mutation in the genome that defines our preferences. So is he saying he's discovered the gay gene? Depending on what area of the world you were born in and what time, it may also have been perfectly acceptable thing to act on those urges. Literally what? In what time? Give me at what time in history it was okay. That it was popular, that it was commonly accepted. I'm genuinely curious. Now we all know that taking it, doing this is wrong, disgusting, and vile even. But with the exception of Germany, we are going about it completely wrong. It's like we've learned nothing by studying gays. We're talking about exploring the same, quote, cures to the P word as we were about gays 20 years ago, a la conversion therapy and whatnot. No, we're not. I don't believe that there is any cure for that affliction that is of the P word. And they should all live on an island somewhere and make license plates. I think that's the safest place for them and for those around them. There's actually a facility in Arizona that there's a documentary on, but that's neither here nor there. As part of my research, I discovered that these people have literally nowhere to turn, even non-offending ones. They cannot seek treatment in the most parts of the world because their therapist or psychiatrist is required to report them. Fair. That's actually true. Where is this? What we know currently about it is for this, like being gay, it exists on a spectrum. For example, we know the whole barely legal subgenre is huge. Anybody who enjoys 18-year-olds, turns around and says all P's ought to be ended is a hypocrite. What? No, it isn't. Oh my God. The idea that you think somebody who is attracted to a 5-year-old is the same thing as somebody who's attracted to someone with small features who is 18, that must be one hell of a spectrum, bro. That must be a spectrum that exists for miles. But I digress. From what you've typed here, it seems that you have a mild preference and you might be satisfied with adults. Some people with that disorder find themselves only into the youngins, and that could be potentially problematic, especially in a society where there's absolutely no way of getting help. Well, a bullet will help you. So, my first gold was a sympathetic post towards the P words. Amazing. Thank you for the gold. I don't even know what Reddit gold is. Honestly, it goes to show that Reddit is capable of tremendous compassion, or maybe some P word gave it to you. To everyone who came forward in this thread, I admire your courage and wish you the best. I'm in no position to provide any guidance or advice of any sort, but I encourage you to read this article I stumbled upon from medium.com. To people downvoting, you mean people who don't like P words? I encourage you to participate in the discussion instead of simply clicking a button. I hope you remember downvotes should be given for comments that you don't contribute to your discussion, and you shouldn't use them as a mean to voice your disagreement. So he was literally worried about his Reddit clout score. So he got downvoted on Reddit and he was worried about his clout score. You see, he also got an As-Am podcaster, I'm assuming Asian American, harassed off of here over a vague tweet about his abs. His politic is rooted in assimilating into white power. He has a bad reputation in Toronto for the way he dates and works, and I still saw people drooling over him at the Met. I don't know. I'm sure this. How did I know this person would have me pre-blocked? In what appears to be a response to the controversy brewing around him, the Shang-Chi star tweeted a follow-up reply to a tweet of 2019 that states he does not ever advocate for anything other than positivity. He continues his original thread by stating that if anyone were to dig back far enough, I'm sure they'd find a far more immature version of me who gave into anger and hate. Well, I don't think so. I don't think that, you know, you see he's major part on being a subreddit for being anti-black. There's some spicy stuff in here. I'm not sure. Here you go. It shows him commenting in a subreddit. Let's see this. I'm probably blocked. Oh, I'm not. Look at that. They think it's okay to strap a boom boom to themselves and walk into a school. Seriously, guys, get some effing answers in here. What a pool of first world problems. Wait, what? I don't really know what that means. I'm all about gender equality. However, girls are just not as good as boys at sports. And whenever I play volleyball with a girl on the team, I always get frustrated. Sometimes I say things. Back me up here, fellas. It's just different. That's not really that bad. That doesn't seem that odd. That's, I don't know. The P defending stuff is pretty, I wouldn't call that an immaturity thing. But anyway, definitely not taking any extra joy in this as a man who put the entire YouTube community I'm a part of on blast. Definitely not enjoying it at all. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.